John 16:33 says, "In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart. I have overcome the world." Don't worry about what you may face. You are already an overcomer. Isaiah 41:10 says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Do not be afraid, for God's strength is able to keep you, and you will receive the help you need.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another installment of your weekly news broadcast, Moco Resistance. My name is Harold Maldonado. Today is Sunday, August 20th, year of our Lord 2023. We come to you with episode 10 for this week. Welcome new audience, new listeners, and new subscribers. Welcome to the Resistance. Everybody all over the county who's part of the Resistance gives you a big, huge welcome. Welcome to the war. Welcome to the trenches. And for those of you who are regular listeners and subscribers, welcome back. We've entitled this week's episode 10, an update from the front lines. And basically, that's what we're going to do today. The game plan, as usual, we're going to cover... we have Patriots and Traders. Yeah, I didn't update that. My bad. We have current events for today, and today we have a privilege of having the two leaders from the Montgomery County Young Republicans Club. So we'll hear from them and hear the thoughts on what's going on and what they're all about in terms of their club and what message they're trying to relay over to residents. Okay, so and for the first time, usually we just have a slide here that introduces the current events, but today we're going to provide you some details on what we're talking about in the current events. We're going to talk about Hawaii, and basically this is what has been going on in the news as of late. So we're going to talk about Hawaii, how the fires were not caused by climate change. That's a total lie. Fires were not natural. They were man-made, caused on purpose. And so we're going to see how the deep state used direct energy weapons against Hawaii and why they're doing this. And basically, just to give you a little teaser, they did this to grab the land from the Hawaiians in order for them to put in place their smart city. They're going to try to create a smart city. If you don't know what that is, you should research that up. And then we're going to talk about the new COVID-19 variant. So the Biden administration is planning another plandemic. There's news out there that says that the Biden administration is going to force or put back the mask mandates, and what do you know? We have an election next year, so the same moves, the same actions again by this occupation, this Marxist occupation. So yeah, let's get right to it. We have the Twitter feed, and here we go. CNN: a highly mutated new variant of the virus that causes COVID-19 has countries on alert as scientists scramble to understand how far it has spread and how well our immunity will defend against it. So yeah, they're going to push another booster. They're going to push another lockdowns. They're going to force us to stay at home. They're going to force kids to stay at home. And so we're not taking this anymore. So I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to take this anymore. We know what the real plan is. We know what their actions are all about. So yeah, this is totally a hoax. Totally, completely. And of course, they're going to use the severe reactions that people who have taken the vaccine are having, and they're going to use that as to say, here's the variant, here's what's causing the variant. So this is gaslighting again, prepping the masses for a new lockdown. So get ready. And yeah, today I was able to, doing the prepping for the show. I was looking at the news, and yeah, we have on the Washington Post regarding the current situation at the Board of Education and with the Paint Branch principal Joel Beetleman. So if you don't know Joel Beetleman is the principal of Paint Branch High School. And he is being investigated because of allegations of sexual misconduct. So everybody and their mom in the county knows that this gentleman has had many accusations, many complaints. And the issue is that the public school system, MCPS, and the Board of Education have covered for him, as well as the Superintendent McKnight. So, yeah, here's the article, and I'll go ahead and share the article. Washington Post, Montgomery County owes answers on a school principal's misconduct. And a little highlight right here. Where's that? Yeah, right there. Okay, so the article goes, how did Montgomery County Public Schools respond to 18 reports of misconduct by Principal Joel Beetleman, but not by firing him or even by disciplining him, but by promoting him? Revelations in a post-investigation into the district's inadequate response to an abusive educator demanding full accounting. So let me pitch this to you guys. And this actually I thought about it today while I was prepping for the show. Isn't it interesting that this problem, this issue, this news has come out as soon as the parents from the Muslim and the Christian Ethiopian community have come together to oppose or to demand the opt-out to be restored in the county. So I find it interesting how this news has come out, and I think it's a distraction, but we'll see how that goes. And so here again, the article you can see it. You can go on the Twitter account of Moco Resistance. And again, if you're new to the broadcast, we have accounts in Twitter and Facebook, and we have channels in YouTube, Rumble, and Telegram. So check us out there too. Continuing with the information, we have Fletch 17, and this touches on the what's going on with Hawaii and how this is relatable to what happened to the trains. Remember how the trains were basically derailing here left and right all over the country? Well, he says, and he makes a good point, and he says, Fletch 17 says, remember the trains? Another weapon of choice is fire. First Hawaii, then Canada, now New York. What's next for the mysterious fires, DC? So this is images, a video from fires happening in New York today, Sunday, August 20th, 2023. So yeah, so this is not natural. This is not climate change as they want us to believe. Continuing, we have we turn into the news for the devastation in Hawaii, and I'll show you the video. Kevin, We the People says all this devastation in Lahaina, but the governor's house was unharmed. Could this really be true? So we're going to watch the video right now on that, and to give you more flavor of what's going on.
Homes. One of those trees still standing. We're going to look for the governor's house now. wait for it. Everything's burning around the house.
Okay, so as you were able to see, this what happened in Hawaii is not natural. It was directed. It was done on purpose. The mayor of Hawaii, he didn't allow the emergency broadcast system to go on, or the sirens to be turned on, and the person in charge of water didn't cut off water supply for the firefighters to use, and also people leaving the fires were not allowed to leave. So the police and government officials vehicles blocked the way for the people trying to run away from the fires. Continuing, we have fires in Spokane, Washington today, 2 hours ago, and basically the same pattern. We have targeted fires going on in different places, and if this were natural fires, you would see fires burning trees, burning everything around them. But as you can see in front of you, you have fires that are directed. Some houses are not touched. Some houses are not. Properties are not even. And again, here's the New York Post tweet. Hawaii official concerned with equity delayed releasing water for more than 5 hours as wildfires raged. Report. So we have, again, we've told you this. We have compromised government officials at every level, and this is an example. They did this. They killed people in Hawaii on purpose. The mayor and every high hat in government in Hawaii. So the mayor is a Democrat mayor. So this is basically what's going on. And here's the Democrat mayor saying that this is he's blaming this on climate change. And I'll let you hear what he says.
Just to be clear, when you're talking about global warming, are you saying that climate change amplified the cost of human error?
Yes, it did. There's always going to be incredible things that people do to save lives, from the firefighters, from citizens, and there's always going to be decisions that are made that I'm sure aren't perfect in the moment.
And so the climate change hoax is being pushed everywhere. They have fires in Spain. They have fires. So this is going to happen everywhere. They have fires in New York today, in Spokane, Washington. So, in the following videos, you'll see the actual information from people who are citizen journalists who are reporting the facts from the ground. So here's the information from these brave journalists that are citizen journalists, independent, with no agenda other than just to give people the truth.
We're all hurt, we're all grieving. A lot of our hearts were here, and it's now completely gone. We're still here, and we have to keep it that way. We have lost everything. So the fact that they're already thinking that they probably can't afford to rebuild. A lot of people's life savings are in the house.
Everything to do with the state has been bad. Everything to do with the community has been awesome. We're focusing on what's most important. That is making sure our community members are well taken care of. That is what's most important. The state, their focus is all over the place, and they expect us to trust them. I do not. 99% of the community members that I've spoken to, they don't. Now we have to focus and make sure that the vultures don't come in and take from us. There have been people skeptical about it, telling me, oh, it's just nobody's trying to come and take your land and blah, blah, blah. No, they are here. Not one state representative, not one state official has come out to check on us.
I just came from a meeting run by the governor. All these developers were talking about, they were like fast track their development And they're not fucking helping the people over here. There was not one conversation in this meeting about the people. The people.
$40 billion go to Ukraine. Thing coming to us, but nobody's still here to take care of us. We're suffering. All this shit we gotta do on our own.
Right now, the Maui community is helping the Maui community. It's really affected me because where's the president? Aren't we Americans too? Like, why are we being ignored?
We want to stay here. We don't want to be displaced any more than we already have been. I strongly urge all of our people to come together. We will make it happen. We will make it happen.
Is not important. I need to get this message out. This was not a natural disaster. This was a direct energy attack on the people and the place of Maui. If you know what lives there, what descendants live there, you know why. And you know why it happened on 8/8. And if this is not something that you believe, it's time to stop being a sheep. They came in and they took control. There were trees standing and the buildings gone. This system, this weather system, came in from the mountains, from the east. That does not happen. They were not telling people anything. They were not letting people in to help. And they were letting people go in to get burned alive. There were people burning alive in the streets. There were people dead in the water. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of people that died. What they're telling you in the news is not true, and I lived it firsthand. I sat with the people. This is not to bring fear, this is to educate, because there is darkness that's being hidden. And soon people are going to see. I know now why Gaia sent me there. And I am going to use this platform. There was no warning. There was no nothing. Please boost this post. I want everybody to see this. I don't give a fuck about me. I want everybody to see this. What they're telling you in the news is not what happened.
So the following video is a summary of what they want to do. These evil politicians and governors and government officials, they are following the narrative, the agenda of the international globalists who want to control humanity. And one of the ways that they want to do this is by creating smart cities. I don't know if you're aware of that, but the smart cities are basically cities that are connected. They're controlled by artificial intelligence, and they control what you hear, what you watch, what you eat, where you go, what are you talking about in your social circles. So it's basically a very, very Marxist, communist pipe dream that these evil folks want to push on us. So they've decided to test it out in the United States, in this part of the world, in Hawaii, and they picked out a place where they can put in place their scientific, their sci-fi pipe dream, which is total evil, if you ask me. So here's a summary of that.
So today we're going to give a little update on the Hawaiian fires. Now I want you to look at this footage, and this sure doesn't look like a fire to me. It looks like something almost exploded or something went off. Now what's interesting is certain things are still standing while other things are not. Now the governor did say this is climate change doing this. Interesting. What they don't talk about is in January how they had in Maui a smart city conference to turn Maui into an entire smart island, changing everything to electric, renewables, solar panels, and pushing everybody into electric vehicles. 15-minute smart cities. So now what's also interesting is next month in September, Hawaii is hosting the Digital Government Summit utilizing AI to govern the island. It's It's almost like they're resetting something to start rebuilding for this in which they're trying to push. Now, when we look at all the climate change narrative that they're going to try to push, but they're not going to talk about the Weather Modification Act of 1976. I highly recommend everybody look into this act, because who is involved in the weather modification activities? Department of Agriculture, Department of Defense, Department of Interior, EPA, and NASA. So if they're modifying the weather, then could they have caused this event? So if we see that the Department of Defense and other factions are responsible for modifying the weather, well then if we look at direct energy weapons, we can maybe see how this can all relate to this event.
So basically they're pushing the climate change. This is not natural. And here's a tweet from Cheryl Riley going back to the fake plandemic 2 that they want to put in place just before the elections next year, so they can justify pushing for mail-in ballots. So she goes, she states, the deep state is going to try round 2. Exactly. It's election time again, and they think that people are stupid. They can say what they want, they will be ignored. So right on cue, the regime and the media are bringing back COVID hysteria. So again, here's the video for your entertainment.
COVID is making a comeback this summer, so many of us would like to leave it in the past, but cases are once again on the rise. So when will new booster shots roll out? Ann Thompson asked the CDC director.
This summer, most Americans left COVID in the past, gathering together once again mask-free. But tonight, signs of a COVID resurgence. Across the country, COVID hospitalizations jumped more than 14% in the most recent week, but far lower than pandemic levels. NBC News medical contributor Dr. Kavita Patel.
What's behind this uptick in COVID that we're seeing?
The main driver of this is a variant that's relatively newer to the scene, EG5. It's easier to give and get, so that makes it kind of easier to pass along.
It's been almost a year since the last COVID booster came out. CDC Director Dr. Mandy Cohen.
The new COVID booster is expected to be approved by the FDA, and then we will make recommendations from the CDC probably by the second or third week of September.
Will it protect against this new strain?
Yes. The booster is tailored to what we are seeing circulating now.
Critics say the federal government is behind once again. People knew there was going to be a COVID resurgence. So why don't we have a booster today? Why do we have to wait until next month?
The way we go about doing just like we do with our flu shots, right? We make sure that we're looking at the ways in which the virus changed. They look at and evaluate that. The FDA is doing its work. We likely will see this as an annual COVID shot, just like the flu shot.
Just in time for fall, when we'll also face RSV. Can you take the flu shot, the COVID booster, and the RSV vaccine all at once?
So for flu and COVID, yes. RSV, again, is only available for older adults. That's one where I'd say talk to your doctor about what's right for you.
So until the new COVID booster comes, get prepared. Stock up on at-home tests. They do cover that new strain. Keep a mask handy in case you're in a crowded place. And most of all, get your shots, COVID, flu, and RSV, all by Halloween to give yourself your best chance of staying healthy.
A reminder that COVID never went.
This is, the news right now on the COVID and hysteria that the deep state is planning, the Biden administration is planning, and also what's going on in Hawaii. So you've seen the videos, you've seen the proof. This is not natural. What they're not telling the truth to the people, and they kill people on purpose. They've done this on purpose, and they want to create smart cities. Smart cities are basically cities that you can go. You don't need cars, and you can go and do work and go to school, and it's not going to take you more than 15 minutes to walk. So you can walk to the groceries, walk to the park, walk to school, walk to your place of work, and they're going to be controlled by AI. So this is what the agenda is. They want to do this all over the world. They want to control. They want full control, and we're in their way. We're in their way, and we are basically the last stand that we can make in terms of saving this country. And this is not happening just in the United States. It's happening everywhere. And so the United States, if you didn't know this, is the last stand for humanity. This might sound a little over the top, but that's reality. Here at Moco Resistance, if you're listening the program for the first time, we're telling the truth. We are our goal is to provide the most factual information to the residents of Montgomery County in order for those residents to increase their awareness and to get active locally and to start being active in their communities, HOA, PTA groups, schools, your neighborhoods, your bingo, weekend club, whatever. So we need to do this because the government is not working for us at all levels. The federal government is not working again for the people. They're giving out money to, as you saw in the videos, they're giving money away to Ukraine and not giving money to U.S. citizens in Hawaii. That should wake you up big time. And at the state level, on the also compromised and working for the deep state. If you don't know what the deep state, basically, the deep state is, in fact, the layers under all levels of government that actually direct and guide policies that are not of the best interest for the people. And at the local level, here's where we come from. We tie this together, and it affects everything that we do. The council created the COVID hysteria during the first round. They closed schools, closed companies, small businesses. So the Montgomery County in Maryland, they want to become California 2.0. All right, let's continue. We've covered a lot in current events. So we have the privilege of interviewing Mr. Arthur Dedinsky and Renzo Rodriguez. They're part of the leadership group of Moco, Montgomery County Young Republicans Club. So without any further ado, welcome to another interview from Moco Resistance. This week we have the privilege of having the Montgomery County Young Republicans. We have Arthur Dedinsky and we have Renzo Rodriguez. They're new to the political scene in the GOP sphere, and we welcome them to the program today. Go ahead, Arthur.
Hi, my name is Arthur Dedinsky. I'm the president of the Montgomery County Young Republicans. A little bit about me. I'm a first-generation American. My parents are both immigrants from the USSR. I was born in Illinois, in the suburbs of Chicago. But I ended up moving here to Montgomery County when I was 3 years old. I grew up here. I went to elementary school here. I went to middle school here, and then I went to high school here. I ended up going to college in Colorado. And coming out of high school and for most of college, I would have considered myself a Democrat. But as I experienced more and more of Boulder, Colorado, and kind of the ideas that the left is trying to instill into society, I just was not. I just didn't agree with it as I learned more about it. My values didn't seem to align. And at some point I hit this breaking point and I just wanted to start learning about conservatism. And I ended up coming across a video with Justice Scalia. Well, long story short, I became a Republican. Once I felt certain that I was a Republican, I started out helping the Colorado Republican Party. I was working on one of their midterms, one of the congressional midterm elections out there. And then we ended up losing, but then I got an internship on the Hill with a Colorado congressman, and I just graduated in December. And so I moved back home and I started working on the Hill as an intern. And then 3 weeks later, I got a full-time job. And I've been home ever since, which is awesome. And when I'm not working in Congress, I try to help out with the Montgomery County Republicans. So I'm a central committee member, but I'm also the president of Young Republicans. I just became president in April, and I've been trying to, and I've been leading the group with Renzo ever since. So that's a little bit about me.
Thank you. Great information. So people that don't know the club and its leadership, here we have the two of them. Thanks for that introduction, Arthur. Go ahead, Renzo Rodriguez.
Thank you for having me on. My name is Renzo Rodriguez. I'm a current student at the University of Maryland. I'm also the vice president of the Young Republicans. My journey is very similar to Arthur. Personally, I am from Peru. My parents both came from there. I was born in Peru as well. And I think that experience really helped me find my path in being a conservative, being a patriot, because I know where I come from. The country where I came from was very poor, a lot of violence and little opportunity. So when I came to this country, I understood the privilege I had of being here. So, I mean, you probably know how young people are these days. They hate their country so much. They're very anti-American. They're burning the flags, and all that kind of made me realize that that party of the Democrats, which I used to be part of, were so anti-American that could no longer be a party of people who were living in such a privileged nation and treating it like if they're living in my country with so much corruption and murder and like violence. When I came here and I saw that, I started to shift away from that life and started to see the beauty of the conservative party. And overall, I just slowly started going from more of a independent leaning left to leaning right and to where I am now. I've been involved in many leadership positions when I was in college, same thing in high school. I've been very active in trying to motivate people and organize people, and I probably did the best job I did when I was in my old college, when I formed one of the biggest groups in the school's history with about 300 plus members. But that group of formed there wasn't as something as serious as what I've been helping out with the YRs now. And since joining the group, we've been doing so much for it and really been using all my skills I've learned throughout my life, leadership wise, public speaking wise, organizing. And I decided to join it because I understood that we are in a very hard time in this county. And I want to do what I use my skills to try to help out the best I could.
Well, thank you for that introduction. And one thing that is common among the three of us today is that we're both, all of us are first generation Americans. So I'm a first generation American. My family came from Bolivia, South America. And everything that my family escaped from in terms of, as you said, Renzo, economic hardship, crime, violence, you name it. That's why my parents left. And recently, since 2006, Bolivia has been plagued with just being overtaken by the socialist Marxist communist regime led by Evo Morales, and everything that I've seen in Bolivia in terms of how the radical left has infiltrated all aspects of life and how they're controlling the economy, education, health, everything, you name it under the sun, is basically what is happening in America. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to also get involved in politics, and I appreciate your candor in terms of presenting your information. So let's get into the meat of the interview, which is the club you guys represent. I was wondering if you could provide some information to everybody who's listening and watching this. What is the Montgomery County Young Republicans Club?
Yeah. So the Montgomery County Young Republicans is a club specifically for people 18 to 40 to get involved in Republican politics, help them get into positions of leadership, as well as, encourage them to be Republicans. I find it, personally, I imagine you all have similar experiences, but it's very hard to be a Republican here. When you're around other Republicans, you can be yourself, but sometimes when I go to the store, I'm worried about what kind of hat I'm wearing, what if I'm wearing a Republican shirt or not. And so this is a place to coin a term from the left, a safe space for young people. It's also a place to show people that there are Republicans in Montgomery County, and we do have solutions that are different than the left to these problems. Now, I like to say that everyone's a young Republican at heart. So our meetings aren't just for young people, but we try to promote it to young people first and foremost. But anyone's welcome to come. Anyone and anyone's willing to talk about the main issues that are going on. To me, I think one of the main issues as young Republicans we can address is our education system. I think it affects a lot of young people, honestly, everyone, how our education system works. Both on the fact that our academic success as a county is going down, but also that we're not preparing young people in the right ways for a career. I think a lot of the school is encouraging people to go to university, which is totally fine. If you want to go get a degree, that's awesome. But if you don't want to take out so much debt, you can go be a plumber, an electrician, and you're going to make a six-figure salary as well. And you're not going to take out hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to do so. As well as trying to make college more affordable. I mean, college used to be something where you could get a part-time job and you can work through school, you can pay off school, and you'd come out maybe a few $1,000s in loans, and then once you got your first job, you pay it off quick. That's not the case anymore. And I think we're really doing a disservice to a lot of young people by having the sort of education system that we have. And that's why a lot of our meetings since I've taken over has been education focused. So that's a little bit about the club.
Anything to add on that, Renzo?
Yeah, I mean, I do see this club, especially the one that we've been leading, as more of a way to organize our county and a lot more than just trying to attract young people, because I think the best way to attract people in general is when you have a group that has action instead of just talking. And we've been doing a lot of mass meetings in order to attract people of all ages, because I believe young people will eventually want to join a group that's been achieving something. And if they see our success, they're going to want to be part of the success, part of the wave. And that's what been our focus. And it's been really effective. We've been getting a lot of very passionate young guys to help us out with the group. Like it was just I mean, we started with just 3 people basically. It was me, Arthur, and another guy. And now we have a good team around us who are very passionate, well-spoken, smart, been helping us grow the group. And I mean, the YRs in Montgomery County has been very successful so far. And I only have an entire future that ahead of us could be a lot more. So we've been doing pretty good.
From my lens, I think your group is really important in terms of fighting back the system, fighting back this Marxist, communist, socialist occupation we're under. I think your group is, I attended one of your events recently in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I was very happily surprised because I can't say the last, leadership in the club was not active. They were active, yes, but I think, with a fresher, leadership in the club, I think things are looking better in terms of what we need to do now. And I echo your sentiment, Renzo, that, it's great to have events. It's great to, mingle with, same-minded, people, but we need action. We need to push back. We need to fight back. And going back again to your comments, Arthur, yes, education definitely is one of the main issues right now in the county, because our kids are being exposed to what is unimportant and what is disgusting, which is a sexualized curriculum. And the Montgomery Public Schools and the Board of Education are ignoring the rights of parents, and they're actually ignoring the First Amendment of the Constitution, which is freedom of religion. So, yeah, again, I applaud your enthusiasm, your energy, and what are the common events that you guys are planning to have in your club?
Yeah, actually, one I'm really excited about is on September 6th, we will be bringing in a current Montgomery County Public Schools Blair High School teacher. And I had the pleasure of speaking with her the other day. I thought it was 20 minutes long, and it actually was an hour and 15. That's how enthralled I was while she was speaking. On some hand, I find it very fortunate that I was able to connect with her. On the other hand, I find it very unfortunate actually understanding what the schools are doing. And it's a lot worse than we think. I think you'll be, if you make it to the meeting, or anyone who's listening to this interview, if you make it to the meeting on September 6th, which will be at the GOP or the Montgomery County GOP headquarters, I think you'll be blown away just by what she's saying. And it's, on the one hand, there is, as you were saying, the sexualization of the curriculum, the fact that they don't, they have these socialist Marxist values that they're putting in, and then with that, they're taking away all academic standards. So, I think it's truly the case that we have children coming out of schools who don't know how to think, who don't know how to question what they've been told, and they're just being done a real disservice. So that one I'm excited about. That's the next meeting we're having. There's another meeting we're having on September, I want to say 27th, but I could be mistaken about that. We haven't certified the speakers there yet. And so I can't say much about it, but I think everyone will be really excited about September 6th.
Yeah. So, again, your goal, going back, to your earlier comment, is to bring, to create a safe space for, conservative, minded, young people. And what would you say to the young people in the age group you pointed out, between 18 and 40, who, or maybe younger, who are in high school or in college, and they want to, maybe, as Renzo did in at the college level, create a club, a GOP or a conservative club in high school or in college. What would you say to them in terms of giving them pointers?
Yeah, one thing I'd say is don't be afraid. The people, everyone, no matter what you're doing, is going to try to bring you down. Now, when you're a Republican, that might be happening, especially so. But don't be afraid. I would say that's the biggest thing. These people are, I have Democrat friends. They can be nice, but they're also, they're wrong is kind of the biggest thing. And if you believe you're right, you have to do what you need to do to make sure other people know what's going on. I'd say the other thing is, don't try to go through the system if they're going to stop you. Right. Like a lot of, I think a lot of people want to start a Republicans club in their school, but, they might not be able to find a sponsor. They might not be able to make it official. You don't need to go and make an official club in the school. Yeah, it's easier. It makes life a little bit easier. But if you're passionate, don't wait on these people. Get people together, get people organized. You can always meet on the school parking lot or somewhere else in the school. And the same thing with the colleges. You can always meet somewhere else. You can meet at a local coffee shop. But just don't be afraid. We're trying to see what's best for society. And you gotta voice it. And if you get canceled, it's okay. It will happen to everyone at one point, and it doesn't really mean anything anymore. So that's my piece of advice there.
Thanks, Renzo. You talked about your previous experience, creating a club. What would be your recommendation to all those conservative young minds that want to speak out and want to organize themselves, in high school, in college, everywhere?
Well, the group I formed wasn't political, so that'll make it a big difference. But if I was to form a political group, I want to give it a Republican name. That's the first thing. The reason why people do not want to be associated with the Republican Party is for fear, also because they don't want to be associated with every single value of the party. So if you want to start a group that's political leaning, to start a group that has culturally political. For example, what is the most conservative sport that exists right now? That would be UFC. It would be MMA. If most people who are in that fighting aspect of life, who like boxing, fighting sports, are very conservative. Guys who like to go into the gym are conservative. So you could literally form a group of guys who work out, guys who do train MMA. Probably not in high school. I don't think they allow MMA in high school, but maybe in college level. And then just work out with your friends. Talk to them about some like conservative values, and you'll realize who's conservative, who's not conservative. And you'll be surprised how often these people have conservative values. Even leftist people have conservative values. So form a group that is not political on its own. Form a group that attracts that kind of people who are political, who are conservatives. This is what I would probably do if you were a young person. Number two would be this: coordinate with, if you're in Maryland, coordinate with us. We're very organized. We have a big number of people. And also, we will probably have your backup as well. That's probably the number two things you should try to do.
Yeah, that was my the reason why I asked that question is if anybody in the county wants to create or form a conservative or GOP club, can they contact you? And yes, so you just said they can. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Harold, and one thing I wanted to chime in is just that if you're looking for a space, we would help you out with that. The GOP has headquarters where you can meet, or there's always something. So like, please, if the space is also the problem, contact us. We can help you out with that. So
yeah. So to them, to anybody who is listening, who adults in the audience who have teenage kids in high school and college, this is the time where we need to fight back, and we need to be in the trenches and to just face the enemy. We need to do that. We need to go ahead and make our voices heard. And I congratulate you guys on being active and just presenting that energy, and then presenting that mission, which is we want to be active. We want to be creating actionable events and results. So kudos to you guys for that. Lastly, what is your message to the regular average resident in the county in terms of what's going on now and what they need to do and how they can do it? Go ahead, Arthur. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that if you're passionate, you know what you believe, say it and don't be afraid. Talk to people, talk to your neighbors. I think one thing that conservatives get stuck up on is it's got to be all or nothing. Just bring up small things and people might start questioning what they see. Because I think that's the biggest thing is if you go super out there, people are just automatically going to reject what you say. Right. But if you touch on something, and I know this is not related to education, but someone's like, oh man, I like all these new bike lanes. They make no sense. Right. You can say, hey, do you think that the county should have spent $80 million in new bike lanes this fiscal year? Right. And just bringing up small things. No, that doesn't really make any sense. Why are we spending money on that? Or, someone's got, again, if someone lives at a house, right, their property taxes just went up. Talk to them. Hey, you really think that a county that's like got $1 billion budget really needs to increase their taxes? Maybe we can find waste to get rid of, right? Aren't there more people moving in? Shouldn't the revenue already be increasing? Questioning these small things. And then going to education. I think that's the biggest thing that touches on people, regardless if you're left or right. The fact that our academic standards have just gone downhill, right? Anytime you're like, yeah, you send your kids to school, they're not being set up for success. They're being set up for failure. Those parents are going to start questioning what the school's saying to them. So I'd say just bring up small things that people care about, things that people touch, like that affect their daily lives. I know a lot of people talk about the dinner table issues. I like to call it what do you think about when you first wake up in the morning, right? And I don't have kids, but one of the things I think about first thing in the morning is my brother. He's 12 years old. And I care about, making sure he goes to school, all those sorts of things, making sure he's having a good time, making sure he has friends. Those are things that affect people. Those are the things that affect them first thing in the morning. There's a lot of things that affect people first thing in the morning, whether it be bills that they can't pay, taxes that they don't want to pay, bike lanes that they don't want to maneuver around. Find those things, try to touch on it, and show our solutions.
I think that's a game plan, and I think that's the easiest, most safest way to interact with people and try to wake them up in terms of what's going on. And that's why we're here, to provide factual information and to present organizations like yourselves that are actually doing something to help the county, to help residents, to let them know what's going on. So, Renzo, over to you.
I think the easiest thing you can do, especially if you are in Montgomery County or Maryland, is work with a group like that. Like, we are very organized. We have about 80 people to almost 100 people coming to our events. So you can talk to people one-on-one, but if you're part of a bigger organization, you have the backing of a group who will have your back no matter what. You can say things and you won't be afraid of someone trying to hurt you, because we will be there to have you no matter what. We'll be there for you. And also, you have a bigger audience to speak to. Right now, we feel alone in this county. There's like no one to support us. But you can understand that we are our group ourselves trying to grow that numbers up, bring people together who have the same opinion, and have this number grow and grow and grow. Because the reason why people aren't going out on the streets for what we believe in is because they feel like if they do that, no one will be there with them. If you work with us, organize with us, we can one day have thousands of people who believe what we believe, and no matter what they try to do against us, they can never win against us, because we have so many people who support us, so many people who are with us, that their numbers will always be drowned out by our numbers. So if the one thing I can say to them is, if you want to get organized, go to a group that's already been organizing themselves like us. Try to get your friends who are already in agreement to join groups like ours and get our group bigger and bigger so that we can make an impact in the community. That's the best way to really solve the issues in our county. It's through numbers and it's through organization.
Yes, what I envision your club is, as it grows, is having different, your district leaders in different parts of the county, and they're organizing different groups, and those district leaders working with the high school leaders, and just growing in numbers, growing in events and meetings, and spreading the word about religion, faith, and the importance of family values, the importance of education, and the importance of respecting the elderly, and having respect for. Again, we're right now at a point where the family values and just the nuclear family stuff is being attacked on a daily basis, and we need to fight that back. So, guys, thank you.
Add
yeah, sure thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we would love to see happen. If anyone's listening, it's inspired by what we're doing. We started with 3 people, and we're almost at 100 people, and within basically a month and a half. The only thing we did was have meetings. We had passionate meetings with passionate speakers who have no fear what they believe. People come to these events maybe feeling hopeless. They leave the events feeling inspired to fight back. All you gotta do is organize. Have a small meeting with 3 or 4 people. That will spread. They will tell their friends, come to the next meeting. You can talk to your county and see who's there, who's agreed with you. Tell family members, tell friends. That's gonna grow, because people right now are so afraid. Just one guy speaking with passion is going to grow a group very rapidly. If we can have small groups of this in Rockville, Bethesda, Silver Spring, and all of them having 100 people per little district, that could be thousands of people within a few months. And then we can go from 3 to almost 100 in a month and a half. Imagine what we can be if everyone else did the same thing as us in a year. We could take over this county. But that's what we need everyone listening to start their own groups. Organize, start having their meetings, speak to people. Do not be afraid to call people who are Democrats to come over, because they never heard a Republican speak with passion. Bring them over and speak to them, and they will understand that even if they might think we're wrong at the start, after hearing us speak, they'll understand that we either are crazy or there's something that we're saying that's correct. And they'll eventually realize our logic and our beliefs do not come from nothing. It comes from a deep understanding of what life really is about. People come to us for that reason, and you can change someone's life with that.
I'm sorry. I just want to add one thing to Renzo. Not only did I used to be a Democrat, I used to be an atheist too, and I was compelled by people who believed in God, the sort of character that they had, the sort of attitude that they had about life. It makes other people want to follow what you're doing. So just just be yourself and spread those good values, and people will want to listen. Especially when it's something that they disagree with. A lot of people are kind of curious why someone has a different point of view as them. So thank you very much.
So on a great information, great interview, guys. I'd love to have you guys back so you can check back in with everybody in your events and how the progress is going. So again, thank you for your time. This has been the Montgomery County Young Republicans Club, led by Arthur Dadinsky and Renzo Rodriguez. I'll put their information in links under the video. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This concludes episode 10, update from the Frontlines. We covered a lot of information today. In Hawaii, what's really going on over there with the smart cities, and also what's going on with the mainstream media pushing the next pandemic. It's a fake pandemic, of course. Please share this information far and wide. We need to get this information out to every household in the county. We have hope today with this new groups coming on to join us in the trenches, and we are glad to have the Montgomery County Young Republicans Club joining the fight. We wish them good luck, and if you're in high school, 18, finishing up high school and in college, and you're between the ages of 18 and 40, get involved. This club, you heard Enzo and Arthur. They're ready to fight, ready to go, and ready to spread the word, and ready to actually do something to fight against this woke, progressive, socialist, communist, Marxist occupation. Follow us at Twitter and Facebook, and subscribe to our channels in YouTube, Rumble, and Telegram. We are the resistance. Join us.
John 16:33 says, "In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart. I have overcome the world." Don't worry about what you may face. You are already an overcomer. Isaiah 41:10 says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Do not be afraid, for God's strength is able to keep you, and you will receive the help you need.